Today we're in Johor, Malaysia, and we're taking you on a huge food tour of some local foods.
We've got a ton of incredible things to eat today, so let's get started.
We're in Kluang, a small town in Johor. This place has some great eateries and street food. We're going to be eating epic bowls of noodles, go behind the scenes of a traditional bakery, and explore the best food Kluang has to offer. Get ready for some delicious Malaysian street food.
I'm Thomas.
And I'm Sheena, and we're chasing a plate.
We hope you're hungry. Let's eat.
We're in the town of Kluang, and we've come to a bit of an institution as our first stop, the railway station's coffee shop. Let's go and get some breakfast. Our breakfast has arrived, and this place is so cool. The coffee shop has got a real old world feel, right by the train tracks. There's wooden stools, there's marble top tables. It's just a really cool atmosphere. And look what we're eating. So we have got these kaya buns. So this is a toasted hamburger bun, it looks like, and it's been filled with huge pats of butter and kaya, which is coconut jam. I've ordered a cham, which is a mix of coffee and tea, and then we've got a little nasi lemak bungkus. It wouldn't be breakfast without Malaysia's national dish, but let's get into this kaya bun because it looks epic. Look how much kaya is in this thing, and all of that butter which is just melting away. Alright, let's give it a bite. Wow, the kaya is really sweet. It's quite sticky and creamy. There is the perfect amount of butter in that. It is just oozing out of that bun, and it's really nicely toasted. This charm here is going to be really good. Let's give it a sip. So it's half coffee, half tea. And this one has a really strong tea flavour, but it's also got that hint of coffee. Time to get into the nasi lemak bungkus. So bungkus means wrap. So this little nasi lemak has been wrapped up in this paper parcel. You've got the coconut rice, so that's just white rice cooked in coconut milk, sometimes pandan leaf. You've got this beautiful dollop of sambal or chili sauce here. I'm going to scrape that onto the rice. And then you've got a sprinkling of roasted peanuts. So I'm going to get a spoonful which has got the rice, the sambal, and some of those peanuts. That looks like the perfect bite. The rice is a real creamy coconut flavour, and that sambal is killer. It's a little bit spicy, but it's mostly sweet. That is so good.
Kluang is a great town for food hunting, so we've made our way over to our next stop, which is a curry mee noodles. Let's go check some out. Thank you, Uncle. So this is the curry mee, and the owner of the restaurant has just helped me out with the perfect portions of sambal and these pickled chilies to put on top, and he also put a big load of the vinegar from those pickled chilies on there just to give it a tang. But look at this dish. So it's swimming in quite a thick broth. Let's grab the spoon. Look at that broth, the color in that. And let's try and talk you through everything there is. So I see I'd say that's a pork ball, that's a fish ball, that is some barbecue pork or char siu, that looks like a fish cake. We've got some bean curd skin by the looks of it. We've got a tofu puff. We've got some cockles swimming around under there. We've got the noodles. Whoa, big lump of yellow noodles under there. All right, I'm getting a big spoonful of this broth to try by itself first. Oh, wow. Wow. Oh, so it's a coconut-based broth. Oh, man. It's sweet and it's spicy. I thought it would be spicier because it's got a bit of that chili oil on top, and he added that extra, but it's not too spicy at all. Let's go for a little bit more broth. Oh, it's so deep in flavor. So it's like a curry flavor, so it's a curry mix, so it's a curry spice mix broth. My first thing I eat from this bowl is gonna have to be this curry puff, because that's bound to have lapped up a whole lot of that broth. And you can see it has the sambal and or the chili sauce on top there. Let's put that in one go. That is a burst of flavor. Wow, there's so many noodles, I can hardly pick them up. Coated in that broth. Okay, whoa, there's no way I'm gonna fit that in. Perfectly cooked. A little bit of chew still. Oh, that flavor of that broth in there. Oh, and I can see there's some sprouts in here too, so that's another ingredient I didn't even talk about. And they've probably been blanched, so they'll be crunchy but a little bit soft. Let's go for more noodles. Let's get a big bite with some tofu skin, some bean curd skin, and we've got a bit of char siu or barbecue pork in there. Oh, that once again is just it's a boat for the flavor. That broth is packed into that, burst with flavor. The pork, very delicate, a very, very thin piece of pork. Just added a little bit of texture and that meaty flavor. This is incredible, this bowl. It's spicy from the chili, but not very much at all. It's tangy from the vinegar he put in. It's got a myriad of textures from all of these different items in here. It's a little bit sweet. It's just perfection in a bowl. This is unreal, unreal bowl of noodles.
Our food hunt in Kluang continues, and next up we have this bowl of beef noodles. So let me talk you through what's in here. We've got pieces of braised beef. We've got some yellow noodles or mee. There's some fried shallots, some crushed garlic, some spring onions in here, and then this really watery brown beef broth. And up the front, where they're preparing the bowls of noodles, there's this huge stock pot of this broth. And one of the guys stuck a hook into the broth and pulled out one of the huge chunks of beef, which I assume that they chop up and then pop into the bowls of beef noodles. So that beef is just slowly poaching or braising in that broth. Oh, let's just try some of this broth. It looks really just full of flavor. You can see the color of it. All right, let's go. Oh, it really just has a strong, intense flavor of beef. Let's give some of these mee a go, or noodles. So they're a yellow wheat noodle, and there's a huge bunch of them in this bowl. They've been blanched perfectly, so they just quickly whip them into the water, give them a swirl, give them a toss, and then they're taken straight out. So those still have a lot of texture, a lot of bite. Now for this beef. You can see here that it's just got a bit of tendon still stuck to it. It's just really beautiful in color. Let's just give it a try. It just melts in your mouth. It is so tender. You've got that slight crunch from the tendon. Oh, that's so good. Really simple flavors, so you can really taste that garlic. You can really taste those fried shallots. The noodles are really bouncy. Then that beef, this bowl is all about that beef flavor. So really simple, but really intense depth of flavor. I just can't get enough of this broth. I'm just gonna go for another spoonful. Oh yeah. The fried shallots have really infused that broth, and so it almost tastes like French onion soup. Now we really wanted to try the original beef noodle soup, but you can also add things like stomach, tendon, beef balls, and different types of noodles to your bowl, but we just wanted to try this one in its purity. So good. our next stop is a local bakery that specialises in making kuih kacang masin, a savoury mung bean biscuit. And you can see behind me the team just going for it. There's a huge production line, and the team have just explained to me what they do to make these biscuits. So they use a mixture of both an oil dough and a water dough, which creates this really flaky pastry. So there's a lot of rolling and kneading going on, and then what they do is they flatten it out, and then they stuff it full with this mung bean paste, and then close it right up, and then that's when it's pressed down into a biscuit shape and then baked.
We've picked up a packet of the ones that we saw getting made. So it is in Malay here, kuih kacang masin. So kuih is a snack or a sweet. Kacang is a nut or a legume has a skin, has to have a skin for that word. It's quite an odd word, like the translation, that one. And masin means savoury, or direct translations to salt or salty, but sort of means savoury in this sense. But anyway, let's rip into this beautiful little packet. If I just pluck off this end, she was putting a little bit of glue on there, and then it should unroll perfectly. Oh yes, look at those golden little discs. So 5 little discs in there. Oh, let's grab one of those. So they're actually quite weighty little things, quite solid feeling. Let's just bite in. Whoa. Quite dry. Okay. A really good taste. So you can see those layers in there. The slightly more yellow is the mung bean filling they're putting in. And so in this case, the kacang, I was saying the legume or the nut with the skin, that is the mung bean. And then the outer pastry, so you can see the different texture and tone there. And they definitely have a different texture. It is a little bit salty, a little bit sweet, but more salty than sweet. Let's grab some more off. Yeah, it has a real savoury taste. The mung bean is quite squishy actually, and then that outer pastry is quite dry, but it's a really well balanced flavour. And I just loved watching them make it, the way they were rolling, slamming them on the desk to make the perfect shape, putting them on those huge baking trays, putting a glaze on top before they went in the giant ovens. It is a very good snack. It would go really well with a kopi or a tea or something, a hot drink, just to go perfectly with that sort of slightly dry but very tasty biscuit.
It is stinking hot here today in Kluang, and I reckon one of the best ways to cool off in Malaysia is to eat an icy cold bowl of chendol. So chendol is a really popular snack or dessert here in Malaysia, and it is such a riot of awesome ingredients. So it's got heaps of shaved ice, lots of creamy coconut milk, a dollop of red beans or kidney beans, I think these are. And then you've got these chendol noodles, which are green pandan flavoured noodles. I'm just going to go for a massive spoon to cool me down. Oh, the coconut milk, it's so creamy and sweet. That ice is so refreshing. And then you've got the earthiness of those beans, and those pandan flavoured chendol noodles just give the dessert a really beautiful tropical fragrance. So if you've never had pandan before, it tastes a little bit like tropical vanilla. It's just a really popular flavouring that's used in a lot of desserts here in Malaysia. Let's give this one another go. Oh, I just want to scoop this all up and eat it. Just pour it into my mouth. It is so good. I forgot to talk about a really important ingredient, and that's gula melaka, which is coconut palm sugar. So you can see how the coconut milk, as I've mixed up the chendol, has turned a beautiful shade of brown. So that's from the gula melaka syrup that was drizzled all over the chendol.
That was one incredible day of eating. So much good food to have here.
Remember to head down below, hit subscribe on our YouTube channel because there are heaps more food videos to come. Make sure you hit that thumbs up button. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you next time. Jumpa lagi!
Jumpa lagi!